Have you ever come to an intersection in life where you're expecting to get a green light which says go, but instead you encounter a red light which says stop? And every time you try to get to that intersection and have it turn green, you're still faced with a red light. I have experienced that myself over a period of 10 years. You see, there is an intersection in Escondido called Ash Street and Grand Avenue. And for some reason, for the last 10 years, when I get to that intersection, the light is red. And I realized that one time when I was going home from my business to my house, and there's really only two ways to get there. There's Ash Street, which goes south, giving you directions here. There's Date Street that takes me to my house. And there are really only two intersecting roads that get me home quickly. That's Valley Parkway and Ash and Grand Avenue. Well, I was in a hurry to get home from my business, and I decided to blast down Ash, and I get to that intersection, the light's red, and I need to make a right turn, but there's a car there. That individual isn't making a right on red. And I'm getting very frustrated because I need to get home. And I realized at that moment that for the last 5 years, I have never, ever got a green light at that intersection. And I found that very frustrating. So for the next 5 years, I challenged that light. I would go in the morning, I would get the red. I would go at midday, I'd get the red. I go in the evening, I get the red. No matter what I did, at that intersection in my life, I always got the red light. When I'm going down Ash Avenue, I can see a half-mile ahead, and I can see the lights red, and I say to myself, my gosh, by the time I get there, it has to be green. And yet, I get there, and it's still red. And I'm asking myself, am I jinxed? Is there some hand of God that is controlling my life so I never get a green light at that intersection? Am I just a very unlucky person? Well, I have to tell you that after 10 years, I've come up with a resolution to my extremely difficult problem. And here's the three things I did. The first thing I did is I just dropped it. It's not really that important, is it? Right? I just said to the light, I'm never going to grace your presence again. Too bad for you. I'm done. I'm done with you. The second thing I did was I found another route home. Now, it's not a short route. It's a long route. But it takes me by a grocery store, by the post office, by the gas station, by the bank, and the taco shop. And I found that I actually benefit from taking that route now than that Ash and Grand. And the third thing I learned is, yes, maybe the hand of God is controlling me in this situation, having me avoid that intersection. And I want to tell you something. I've seen so many accidents at that intersection, constantly. In fact, I saw one accident where a white utility truck was broadsided and it went over the curb. There were pedestrians there, and it was wedged between the light post and a power pole. And it wasn't exactly wedged. I parked my car, went over there, and I looked. I couldn't believe it. Between the front bumper and the light post, 2 inches. And between the back bumper and the power pole, 2 inches. And I looked at those bumpers, not a scratch on them. What is with that intersection? Right? So if you are dealing with an intersection in life where you just can't get a green light, but you're always getting a red light, consider just moving on. Consider taking another path, and consider that maybe the hand of God is working in your favor. Meditation.